You've already got a mouthful. Surely you couldn't take more. You're going to take it all. Okay, off you go then. He's going to take it back to his nest. Alright, cookies. A little bit more and then I'm going to go inside and paint. There you go. Oh, there's a currawong too. Another currawong. I'm never going to get out of here. G'day guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to do an acrylic pour and I'm going to do a sandwich pour because it's been so long since I've done one. Now, do you guys all remember what a sandwich pour is? We put some white in the bottom, which is the bread. Then we have a little bit of colour, which is the filling, and then we have some more white, which is the other piece of bread. So bread filling bread. It's sandwich, okay? So that's what we're going to do, a sandwich pour. I have got my usual glue and water mix, 60% glue. It's Elmer's glue oil to 40% water. Now, I've mixed my colours 1.5 parts pouring medium to 1 part paint. Because I want the cells, when they pop up, I want them to be able to come up through the white because the white is an opaque colour. I'm not putting any oil in it. Yeah, so if the white was too thick, the cells wouldn't be able to pop their little heads out through it. So I've made the white thinner than the actual colours. The colours are also 1.5 to 1. Then I added, if some were a little bit on the thin side, I added a little bit more, a little blob of paint. So I'm just going to divide this white equally. I've got my 2 cups of white. This is a 30 by 40 centimetre canvas, which is 12 by 16 inches. And I know I need about 700 grams of mixed paint for this size. Actually, I probably don't need that much because my paint's on the thinner side, but that's what I've got. I've mixed it up. So that's what I've got. I'm using the Mont Marte paints. Oh, this one here, this is the aqua green, which is this guy here. A lot of the colors I've mixed myself. I've got like a blue with a touch of purple in it. That's raw sienna. This one is phthalo blue and turquoise mixed together, and then phthalo blue and phthalo green to make a teal. So that's those colors. Now to my colors, I'm going to add my silicone oil, that one there, the spot on. And I'll just do 2 drops in each. I just did 45 grams of pouring medium to 30 grams of paint. So 1.5 ounces pouring medium to 1 ounce of paint. So that's 1.5 to 1. Normally I would do a flip cup pour, it's 1 to 1. But as I said, I want this to be a little bit on the thinner side. The aqua green, I had to add an extra blob of paint. It was quite thin. So the trace on the top is gone. It's gone like in 1 to 2 seconds. So thinner than I would normally have. So what I'm hoping to achieve with this pour is a sea glass effect. You know, that rounded sort of glass that washes up on the beaches. Pale blues, pale greens, maybe a little bit of brown from a beer bottle. I don't know, but yeah. Sea glass. So I'm kind of hoping, this is what I've got in my mind, I'm kind of hoping that my cells will be a little bit on the bigger side. I'm not fussed if they're not totally round, because you know when the sea glass washes up, it's all different shapes. And I don't mind that, so I'm happy for that to happen today. And hopefully more cells, like more cells and bigger cells. So totally different from what I would normally try to achieve from my flip cup pour. So we'll see how we go. And all that is pretty much down to the consistency of the paint, because it is thinner today. So I should get bigger cells. And because the mix is thinner, they won't hold their shape as well. They'll sort of move and stretch and go into different shapes I think that's what's going to happen. So this is what the order is that I'm going to layer them. Blue, green, and then the brown, and then the blue and the greeny teal colour. So I'm not sure if I've got too much. I don't need a lot of paint, so I might not use all that, but I just want to do a layer on top of each and try not to get it to fall through. Just cover the top like that. Moving on. So you don't want a lot of colour. You want more white, obviously, than you do of your colours. Otherwise, it's not really going to be a sandwich pour. It's just going to be a normal acrylic pour. So I won't scrape those out. Here we go with the aqua green. And again, don't pour too much at once because it might fall straight through. Just try and get it to just sort of layer on top of your other colour. Oh, has this one got more? So yeah, two sort of bluey colours, two bluey green colours, and then the brownish one in the centre. And hopefully that will be pretty. I don't think I want to put too much of the raw sienna in. It might take over, not sure. And here's our lovely turquoise blue. It's one of my favourite colours. I do like the blues though, don't I? Now, I'm going to scrape that out because this one hasn't got as much in it. So it seems like that amount of paint's pretty perfect to just go across the top and have little layers. And then hopefully I've got enough room in the cup to fill up with white. And then we'll flip them over. So depending on what it looks like when I flip them over, then I'll decide if I want to torch early to bring up cells, or if the cells just jump up on their own, and then I'll leave it until after I've covered the whole surface and then I'll torch. Just depends on what it looks like once I've flipped these cups over. All right, here we go with the white. Oops. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's going through. Try and do it a little bit more gently. Just pour a little bit so it's not too heavy and falls right through. Okay. Oh, look at that. Just made it. Stuck. So does that look like a nice sandwich? Must be a, oh no, I was going to say it's a vegetarian sandwich because it's got all those leafy greens, but it has got that little bit of meat in the middle, hasn't it? Or it could be mustard, a little brownish colour. Okay, this is exciting. Oh, I haven't done one of these for so long. Right, let's move these out of the way. Let's see if I can flip them. Sorry if I shake the table. Here it goes. Oh, squished it a bit. It's much thinner than normal and it's very full, so it's a little bit more tricky to flip over. But I think I did okay. All right, now I really don't need to wait until it's run down because it's so full. Now, do I want to go straight down or do I want to do a... I'll just go straight down. Here we go. Try not to lose too much of it. Okay, there we go. Alrighty. Let's just, oh, I've got a big blob there. Typical, just typical. Alright, there's my sides covered. Righty, oh, it's a lot of paint, isn't it? Okay, right, shame about that, but look, I'll tip that off. Now I've got a lot of white down here, so let's go and cover that side first because I can get rid of some of that white, And there goes a bit of a blob. See how it's much thicker on top? So I'm unlikely to get cells through that white because it's so thick. That's better now. See how it's thinned out a little bit? And yes, you do have to have extra paint on your surface so that you can tip what you want off, keep what you want to keep. Now I'm just going to wipe my hands, and I think I'll torch now because I haven't really got, I've got that one big cell that's popped up there. So that's sort of telling me that my cells hopefully will be on the decent size. So let's torch with the big boy blowtorch. I don't want too many cells because I think they're going to grow, so I'll be a little bit careful and not to get too many, hopefully. And hopefully when the colours pop through, there'll be like a washed sort of a Seaglass kind of a look. Still got a lot of white through here. Look, my cells aren't really coming through this white at all, are they? Still must be a little bit on the thick side. As in, maybe not consistency, but just a lot of white still on there. So I may have to come back and tip some of that. Oh, there they come. Look, they are. They're just taking their time. Taking their time. I'm just getting a little bit closer with the torch to bring them up. And that seems to be working. A little bit closer to come through that white there. Oh, it's looking so good already. I don't want to tilt it anymore. Alright, let's leave that. Okay, I better be quick before all my cells get ruined. Now, I need to come down and obviously get rid of some of these. And I guess the problem with torching early is you do run the risk of overstretching things. I think I'm going to leave it like that. I'm not going to worry about that corner. All right, now I think I'll tilt a little bit more, not tilt, torch a little bit more up the top there where I didn't have much because the white was still quite thick. Maybe we'll get some smaller ones popping through there. And they can just grow on. And I'll torch in the corner here just to get some little cells in that corner. So this is a good example of like not overstretching, you know, that yes, that little corner there would have been nice to have gone, but if I had gone for it, I would have ruined the rest of my cells. So it's really, really not worth, whoa, that was a bit close, not worth overstretching them. Okay, I don't think I'm going to get anything else. I've got a bit close there, look at that. So there we go. What do we think? Does it look like Seaglass? Just going to kind of center this a little bit more. Stretch those a little bit more. Give it a jiggle, jiggle. Alrighty, there we go. I think I'm done. So you can see, totally not my usual, you know, cells, but that was the look that I was going for with this particular painting. Just going to run my little stick under there, stop anything else from running off. Haven't covered those corners properly. So what do you think? Do you like this? Or is it just not your thing? Put a little bit of white on that corner there. When you're putting your paint on, just let it drip down on its own. Try not to kind of rub it in. Just let it make its own little pretty pattern as it falls down. That way it tends to match a little bit better rather than you actually, you know, rubbing it in. I do feel that maybe I should have covered the whole surface first, then torched. I do think I would have got a better result. Because you know when the cells popped up and I thought, oh, I don't want to stretch it. That's when I should have just left it, you know. So I might do it again. And maybe not right now. I've got things to do. But at some stage, do it again. Cover the whole thing first and then torch. And then you can still tilt a little bit just to stretch things out, but you don't run the risk of overstretching things. And I would have been able to get to my corner without stretching the cells, because the cells wouldn't be there yet. Do you know what I mean? But love it. Got little tiny hints of the raw sienna. There's not much poking its little head through, just a little bit. So yeah, there we go. It's very white, isn't it? I mean, that's the look that you get from a sandwich pour. You get a lot of white background. All right, let's go down for a close-up. And have a little look. Oops, there's my ring light again. Always in the way, isn't it? So it's just a very sort of delicate pale. There's a lot of white from all that white, which is what you want. But you can see they're not my usual round cells because, as I said earlier, the mix is thinner. But if this is the look you're going for, and there's certainly nothing wrong with it, it's just a different look, then you just need to make your mix a bit thinner and you'll get bigger cells. So there we go. Hope you've enjoyed that little video. Hope you learnt something about paint consistency. And, oh, should I have another go? I might do it again now for you. You won't see it on the same day though. I'll probably throw a resin pour in after this and do that one a bit later. That's pretty there. Look at that turquoise with the blue. Weird little sea creature thing, isn't it? All right. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you real soon for the next video. Okay. Bye for now.